Hey everyone, I'm Ava and welcome back to Delightful Dolls. Today I just had these little hands arrive in the mail. Now I ordered these like a month ago, but I was expecting them to take this long, so it's okay. Basically, these are 1/6 scale doll hands. They're not necessarily Barbie doll hands, or at least they weren't called that in the listing. I got these off Amazon and I can show a quick picture of what the listing looked like. I think this was about $15 for 5 pair of hands, and I thought that was a pretty good deal, so I got them. I don't know if it's just me, but on Instagram and even on YouTube, I've noticed lots of dolls have different hand poses, and I've always really wanted to have my dolls be able to have different hand poses as well. So that's why I got these hands, and we're gonna try them out today and see if we can give our dolls some different hand motions to do. So they came in this really small plastic bag, so I'm just gonna open this up. And here they all are. So we have 2 little fist hands, 2 thumbs up hands, 2 OK, or like kind of like the OK symbol with the thumb and pointer finger touching, 2 peace hands, which are probably my favorite. I think this is so cute. One that kind of looks like they might be holding something, and then one that's just kind of a flat opened but kind of natural looking palm. Something about these hands is that I can only find them in a very light skin color. So personally for the dolls I own, the best match for the skin color is definitely this purple top Made to Move Barbie, because she has quite fair skin. All my other dolls have too dark of skin, so that is a downside to these hands, is that I can only really use them on limited dolls. One thing I am noticing right away is that the hands that I bought or purchased are quite smaller than Barbie doll hands, if you look at the comparison here. So they definitely are a little bit smaller than Barbie hands. So I'm hoping that won't look really weird when I put these hands on the doll. And in case you guys were wondering, these hands are about a little over 1 inch long, including the little peg here. And then the actual hand part, 3/4 of an inch. Also, they are movable at the wrist here. The peg can go back and forth. So that will be really nice for the motion or moving around the doll hand. They seemed a little bit stiff at first, but I think you just kind of have to gently move them back and forth and maybe they'll start loosening up a little bit. So you want to be very careful when you do this and don't accidentally break the little peg here. But I'm just going to kind of loosen these all up a little bit because they're pretty stiff. Of course, I don't want to over loosen them, otherwise they'll just flop around really easily. But I also don't want them to be so stiff. Now for the part I'm sure you guys were all waiting for, is the actual switching of the doll's hands. So Made to Move Barbies do have removable hands, but because you don't want to risk breaking the little peg inside, what I like to do is get some very hot or even boiling hot water and just dip my doll's hand and kind of up the arm as well into the water and just leave it there for a little bit so it can get nice and soft. Once the doll hand has been in the water for about 20 or 30 seconds, you can remove it, and be careful because it will be pretty hot, but then it should be able to easily be removed just like that. So honestly, that was so easy. I didn't use any force at all. So it is super easy to remove the doll's wrist if you let it sit in boiling hot water. I've seen some people just try to remove it without doing that, and it looked like a bit of a struggle, and I wouldn't want to risk breaking the peg. So this is just my technique. So now that the doll hand is removed, we can try out all of these new doll hands. So making sure it's the right hand, I'm going to grab one of these here. Here we go. And I'm just gonna put it in.
Making sure it's the right hand.
Okay, so this is a bit of a problem. These pegs are a lot skinnier, as you can kind of see here, than the original doll hand. So they don't stay in, they just, yeah. I'm also noticing that this peg is a lot longer than the original peg on the original hand. So it kind of doesn't go in all the way and has a bit of a gap. So I'm just gonna take some sharp scissors and I'm just gonna try to trim it a little bit shorter and see if that helps. Okay, so I cut off a tiny amount, and yeah, that definitely fits better and doesn't have such a big gap. So I'm just gonna cut and kind of trim off a little bit from each of these hands quickly so that they fit in better. I'm just testing each hand after I cut them to make sure they fit well. Now that I have these all trimmed down, you can definitely see that they fit in a lot better than what they did before. However, they're still very, very loose. So I have two ideas. First, I'm gonna try by taking a very tiny piece of sticky tack and kind of rolling it into a long piece, and then wrapping it around near the top of the peg on the hand. And then I'm going to put it in. So as you can see, that definitely does work and it definitely stays in a lot better. However, you can kind of see the sticky tack and it's probably not the best fit because it can still come out very easily. And when you take it out, the sticky tack does have a chance of getting kind of stuck in there. So I'm going to try one other idea. So what I'm going to try is to use my hot glue gun to kind of thicken the peg. I don't know if this is gonna work, so we're just gonna give it a try. Like I mentioned earlier, as you can see, the original peg is definitely thicker. So I'm just gonna try to add a little bit of hot glue around the bottom of the peg to kind of thicken it up a little bit. I'm just gonna let that dry like that. And I'm just gonna kind of use my fingers as it's slowly drying to kind of shape it how I want it. Okay, now that it has some thickness built around it, let's see if it'll fit better on to the wrist. Okay, wow, that definitely worked. It's definitely in there a lot better than without it. Wow, that's pretty good. Now I'm just gonna take it out and hopefully the hot glue gun blob doesn't stay in the wrist somehow and comes out with the actual hand. So let's just test that out. Wow, it looks like that worked, guys. I'm honestly super happy with how that all just turned out. I think I might just add some hot glue to the bottom of all of the hands because that seemed to work really well. And now the hand can go back and forth and can twirl all the way around. I don't know if you guys can notice, but I do feel like there might be a slight difference in the skin, but honestly, it's not that noticeable at all. As for the size of the hand, I don't honestly think that it looks too small. Compared to the other hand beside it, it might look a little tiny. But if both of the hands had the new hands that we just bought, then I think it wouldn't look that weird. I think the trick with the hot glue is you don't want it to actually be too thick, even if it does fit into the wrist, because you want it to be able to come in and out pretty easily so that you don't risk the hot glue actually getting stuck inside the wrist. So you actually just want a very thin layer of glue. So that's why I kind of just use my hands to kind of just mold it so it's very thin. So it fits in nicely like so and can come out pretty easily without getting anything stuck. So I'll quickly show you guys all of the different hands on the doll. Here are the peace signs. Here are the OK signs, or whatever you want to call it, where the thumb and pointer finger touch. Here are the thumbs up hands, or technically they could also be thumbs down. But I also think these ones are just super cute. Then here are the fists, and I just think these are so cool. I've always wanted my dolls to be able to have like fists, and because I feel like they're just so different than what we're used to, which are the flat hands. And I just think it's so cool to make it look like if she's gonna start boxing, or I just think it's such a cute look. So I definitely love the fists. Then here are the two kind of oddball hands. This one's kind of just like a flat, natural looking hand. And then this one kind of looks like it could be they could be grabbing something or holding something. So for example, I have this little purse here. I can just kind of slip the strings around her fingers there somewhat to kind of make it look like she is actually holding a bag. I love that. That is so cute. The thing I never really liked about handbags with Barbies is that it was so awkward for them to carry them. But wow, this is so cute. Okay, I really love this one here. That's so awesome. Now, before we end this video, I want to actually try these hands on a different skin color doll. I know the skin color will be completely off, but I just want to see what it'd look like because I would love if I could also use these for some other dolls as well. So I kind of want to try the hands on this doll. She definitely has a bit of a darker skin tone than the last doll, but I just want to see if it's going to be a really big difference or maybe if we could get away with it. So I already removed her hands. So I put on the doll hand. There is definitely a difference in skin tone and it is pretty noticeable. So that is a little bit unfortunate. However, I'm going to try to give her some long sleeves, so maybe you won't see such the difference between the colors of the skin here. Now she has some longer sleeves, so I'm gonna try putting on the hands with the longer sleeves now. So as you can see, it's definitely a lot less noticeable because you don't really see the actual color of the arm. If you put it too close to the doll's face, you can definitely see there's a difference. But you know, I do think it does work, so that is always an option. So yeah, I don't really think that's the worst thing ever. You don't really tell there's a big difference with the long sleeves on. So I definitely think that is definitely an alternative if you don't have such a light skin doll. I really do wish that they had like another option for darker skin colors as well for the hands. I mean, you could probably find some on a different site or somewhere else. So I'll definitely be searching because I love having different poses for their hands. And I just can't wait to take some awesome photos with these new hands. So I really hope you guys did enjoy today's video and consider buying these doll hands or something similar because I definitely think it just gives your doll so much more personality and photography potential. So I am absolutely in love with them and couldn't be happier. My only wish is that they made these in all the different skin tones so I could have all my dolls with different hands. But for now, this is a good start and I'm super duper happy. Now, before we do end today's video, the shoutouts for today go to Hadassah Martinez, Brittany McCluskey, and Priya for purchasing on my Etsy shop. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. Remember, if you want a shout out, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and comment down below with the hashtag DD Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at _DelightfulDolls, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!